Okay, class, now that you've gone through this commas quiz a couple of times, I want to walk you through some of the questions and point out some important things about comma usage. Let's look at this first one, and really these first two questions, which we can kind of group together. So in each pair we're choosing the correctly punctuated sentence. The temperature was 104 degrees, comma, and Eric's car was not equipped with air conditioning. So what do we have here? We have two complete clauses. The temperature was 104 degrees. That could be a sentence by itself. And Eric's car was not equipped with air conditioning. This second one can also be a sentence all by itself. We're going to have a comma there because that comma is coming before the fanboys coordinating conjunction, the thing that's combining two things that could potentially be complete sentences, independent clauses. Same thing here. Instead of and, we have yet. Again, joining two independent clauses. Nursing is physically and mentally demanding, comma, yet the pay is low. Both of those clauses on either side of yet could be sentences in and of themselves. So in the big picture, commas are used to divide out kind of phrases and clauses from each other. They're kind of, in a way, chunking different aspects of the sentence. And so one way to think about an unnecessary comma is that it's dividing or creating a chunk of information in a way that's not logical or helpful. Let's take a look at this one. We'd rather spend our money on blue chip stocks, comma, than speculate on pork bellies. Well, why are you separating the chunk we'd rather spend our money on blue chip stocks from the chunk than speculate on pork bellies? We're not dividing independent clauses. We're not dividing relative clauses that will begin with, who, which, that. So there's no reason to divide that up. You might even think of that piece as needing to be one chunk because it's a comparison. This versus that, this than that. So you don't want to tell your reader to put a big break or pause in between that comparison. In the next one, there is no need to prune, comma, weed, comma, fertilize, comma, or repot your air fern. Those commas are there because they're separating items in a list. There's no need to do what? To prune, weed, fertilize, or repot. So those are being separated because they're items in a list. That helps us organize them in our minds and see where one item ends and the next begins. Okay, and just a couple more. If we look at this example, when we visited the Japanese bathhouse, comma, we took our own soap and washcloth. It's not separating two independent clauses with the fanboys like the and yet was, but it is separating a dependent clause that starts with when from the main clause. And the rule with these is that if there's a dependent clause at the beginning, it gets a comma, and if the dependent clause is second, like it comes at the end of the sentence, it does not get a comma in front of it. Let's look at this final example. The Marx Brothers made delightful, comma, hilarious, comma, movies. We don't need to separate adjectives from the noun that they describe. Delightful, comma, hilarious, comma, movies. There's no need to have a comma between hilarious and movies. You wouldn't write, I have a red, comma, umbrella. I have a red umbrella.